What is up, everyone? Welcome to Call to Action Live on this Sunday evening. I am your host, Kelsey, and joining tonight, I have an excellent panel of people to talk about all things Schmoedown that happened this week, starting with Alex. How are you doing, my love?
I'm damn spiffy. That's where I am. Absolutely. And I'm just going to kick it off because, the hurricane here is no stranger to sailor talk. So I am fucking fantabulous.
Yeah.
That's where I am.
Yes.
It's damn amazing. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for letting me curse on the show.
Yes, speaking of which, seeing down below, look who we have joining us. Come on, everyone give a round of applause in your homes for the hurricane. Jader Paramo, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Feeling great, coming off of that win, which we'll get into. It was my second match. Again, I'm very much still a rookie. So it was an important match for me. No disrespect, obviously, to Brittany Young or anything like that. All my competitors, again, I treat everybody with that respect because you never know what type of game they're going to bring. And sports and everything, you just never underestimate the other side. And this, I know Vejvoda, I've studied him. I've seen his matches as a fan, and I know what he definitely brings to the Schmoedown. So it was huge.
Awesome. I can't wait to deep dive into that a little bit with you because we have some questions about how everything went, especially like prepping for it and things like that. But first, we're going to go into another match that happened this week that we didn't cover on a breakdown. So we want to make sure we at least give it a little bit of coverage. And that was the delinquent Lon Harris versus Sabrina Graves, which the Lon is probably my favorite character of all time. The delinquent is just...
He's fantastic.
Even when he's in the chat, just him in the chat alone.
It's fantastic. I love everything that Lon has been doing. I don't get me wrong. I loved him as a professor as well,
Mm-hmm.
And he is a very, very knowledgeable player, but everything that he's been doing with the delinquent, the skits, the lost, the whole background of Breaking Bad, everything that he's doing. I'm like, we need merch and we need it now. And I want to be the first one to buy his merchandise. We need something, we need to keep that character alive as long as possible because it's fantastic.
I like someone said once, because like there's the Action Army and everybody, that there used to be the Delinquency, which is like a following people who follow. I'm like, I'm sold. I'm
Yes.
getting in.
Yeah,
let me know.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. I love it. But that what a match. Let me tell you, Lon. I mean, again, Sabina. I don't know what happened. Again, I show my respect to everybody, but part of me, I'm not gonna lie, the usual suspects, they traded me the whole night. I was like, I hope they get that L. But at the same time, I remember how nervous I was pre-match. I don't think this is her first match. I'm not 100% sure. I feel very bad that I don't know this. But with her, I don't know. Like it was insane. I felt like the match went like that, and Lon just came to play, and he was just there. He was just ready, So
yeah, absolutely. Alex, what were your thoughts about that match?
It was a pretty solid match. I think it's a really great reintroduction. It's from Sabina. We haven't heard from Sabina in Schmoedown for a very long time. I think last time we saw her was her being playing in teams, and she actually did pretty solid, being part of teams. But obviously, being part of singles is a whole other situation. It's not exactly a walk in the park for sure. But it's clear that she's very knowledgeable. She clearly has talent, and she just needs some polishing up. And who knows, with the right manager, she can do some pretty great work.
Absolutely. And the usual suspects, don't get me wrong, the while I was with them, I loved that the communication between the behind the scenes and certain players that were just there, just show up and they're like, hey, your match is coming up, let's do a scrimmage. Hey, and just random text messages of, hey, do you know this answer, and everything I didn't know, I'm like, hey, I don't know. I would write it down and I'd just study that question, just keep it in rotation. It was part of like reading it every day, like if I was, studying for school or something. So, but Sabina, if she stays with them, a lot can happen. Again, the behind the scenes there, very solid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been like as Alex said, a long time since she's played, and then also this new format. If I'm used to one thing and have to do something else, it would throw me off as well. So it could just been circumstances, and maybe next time we see her, she's just gonna kick some butt. I'm excited to see her back though, because she's a doll, and her joke answers when she didn't know the answer were like some of the best things I've ever seen.
The Geppetto thing killed me.
It was
The
so
Geppetto
good.
thing killed me. That was so funny, and she spelled it perfectly too. So it was so she spelled it just like he did. It was fantastic.
It's
Loved
perfect. It shows that also that it was very obvious that she's like she's a fan of Schmoedown.
Yeah, like a student of the game. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I love that. And I know like she lives out in LA. She's part of that crew and everything. She knows a lot of people within Schmoedown. However, we haven't really her and Sean Gerber, I'm so sad. Sean Gerber, I want him to have so many more matches. Like every time we see him, he finds out like the day of or like the day before about a match. And so I can't really, if he loses a match, especially in like IG or Star Wars, we can't really look at him and be like, yeah, you're not very good. Look at your record. Like, no, he found out like the day before, dude. Like, calm down.
No time to start. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It happens, man. I know a couple of people that it happened to, that they just happened to be in the studio. Someone had to cancel last minute. They're like, hey, you're in. And it's like, whoa. So that's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just hits you like a ton of rocks.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right.
So
any final thoughts on that match before we move on to the next match, which I think we'll deep dive a little bit more into?
Lon is a force. And it's not a surprise. He's not going to be someone that's going to get knocked out easily. I feel like he can very well given the bracket where he's at. He can probably make Final Four, to be completely honest with you. Elite 8, Final Four for him, I feel. Depending obviously on a certain match that I don't know the outcome yet, but there's only one match right before the Final Four where I'm like, maybe.
Interesting.
I think we're just giving too much. We're giving too much credit to Lon. Lon deserves no credit. He's just like a wandering homeless person that just hangs out on trains and stuff. So I don't know if we should put him on this level, guys. Actually, I do love Lon so much. But okay, come on, guys. We're giving him too much credit. He doesn't want the credit because, after all, he doesn't try. So, I mean, let's be honest. He doesn't try. It's like, it's not cool to try.
Why bother?
No, of course not.
Why?
Of course not.
He's like, losers, you guys try? You guys are rude for awakening.
That's awesome. It's so funny.
All right. Well, the next match we are going to talk about is Jader the Hurricane Paramo versus Jim the Whiskey Man Vivida. Look at those stats. That was such a great match. If you want to look at more detail on those stats, we do have them posted on all our social media, things like that. Megs does an amazing job with them.
She does. So, she's awesome. She does a great job. As soon as she started posting them, like they made me an ad. I'm still admin, by the way, for the Usual Suspects. They haven't taken me off. So they'll ask, like, I'll get a request. I'll get a request, and it's when it's her stats, I'm like, I immediately press yes, but I'm like reading every single thing. She's fantastic at that. I love it. But the match. Woo! I felt like this was kind of a exact replica of my first match. So I went 7 for 8 in my first round. I knew that the one question I missed, I was going to miss. I just wrote down the answer knowing it was wrong, which was what 1990s film stars Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. I put Sleepless in Seattle, even though I 100% knew that came out in 1993.
You put down an answer, yeah.
Yeah. So I just put down an answer, but Joe versus the Volcano did not come. When I heard it, I was like, oh, yes, of course. Why didn't I think? Yeah, and it sucks because it happened to me twice in this match. 3 times, actually. Anyway, so when that happens, I've been like so upset because when I watch the matches from home, obviously I get perfect matches all the time, and I haven't been able to hit one. Again, this is even when I did the fan one in Orlando in the first round, I missed the question. That was the one question I missed the whole night. So I always tend to miss for some reason around one question, but when I'm sitting at home, I hit them all. So going into that, anything the second round for me has been atrocious. There's no other word for it. I just the second round has always, I don't know. And in this match, it went in my favor. He spun opponent's choice and I spun spinner's choice. I again with Jim, he's very his knowledge goes everywhere, and for some reason I don't know, like I didn't want to give him a specific director or anything. I didn't want to give him anything too broad, so I went with Meg Ryan. I don't know why, because I should have known better that to think that Jim wouldn't know it, even though he did go multiple choice for every single one of them. Which for me, I see Meg Ryan films and I knew them also. The reason why I gave it to him was like, this is gonna probably be my easiest way to steal from him. Right?
Yeah.
I was obviously playing strategic. So he hits them all with multiple choice. I spin, get spinner's choice, and I pick Pixar, which I had been studying for the match. And so I hit my first 2-pointer. The second one I miss, which was who voices Django in Ratatouille, right?
Which one's Django?
Django's his father. Is Lemmy's father. Yeah. It's Lemmy's father.
Yeah. I only remember Patton.
His brother.
Yeah.
Well, Patton Oswalt was
it was Remy.
Was Lemmy, yeah.
Oh.
So it wasn't an easy question, but it wasn't hard. This is the thing. So while I was studying Pixar, that question was in my notes, obviously. And for some reason, every time that I was studying, it's the one question that I would get wrong every time. I don't know why Brian Dennehy would not stick. It would not stick and would not stick and it would not stick. Even moments before my match, my little brother was in town from Texas, and we were driving up and down right before the match. And he was reading me. Like I was driving and he's like reading me all these Pixar questions, right? He gives me that one and I get it wrong. He's like, dude, why can't Brian Dennehy, man? I know this by memory by now. I'm like, don't worry about it. I start getting it right towards the end, right before my match. Jump in the match, blank out, go multiple choice. It happened to me. I couldn't believe it, and it's crazy because once the match was over, I came up because he was here at my house. Came upstairs, and then he goes, "What happened?" I'm like, I won. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, did you get Pixar? I'm like, I did. He goes, did you get that question? I'm like, I did. He's like, hell yeah. I'm like, no, I got it wrong. And he goes, what the hell, dude? And he's like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, man, I got it wrong, man. I'm sorry to disappoint you. But yeah. And then when I got that one wrong, I was like, stay calm. And the next question, I don't know if it was the next question that I got. Yes, the next question I got right, which was the Finding Dory question. And then the last question was, who tells Mr. Incredible, my God, you got in fat, right? I've seen that movie a million times. I say Mirage. Knowing it was, yes, dude, yes, exactly.
That's an iconic line.
So this is what happened. I am in there. Exactly. So this is what happened.
I can hear it.
For some reason, I go in there and I'm thinking, I'm like, when they say that, and again, they don't say it with the, with the accent or anything like that. They say it regularly. Of course. My God, you got it fat. For some reason, I know it's from The Incredibles. My brain starts, grinding, and I'm like going through the scenes from beginning to end. And for some reason, the first character I saw in my head, as in the movie being introduced, was Mirage. And I'm like, does she make that comment first? Is this a trick question? Like, that's where my mind went. And then without thinking, I'm like, just go with it. And I went, Mirage. When I say Mirage like that, I'm like, like trying to take my words back because I instantly knew that I was wrong. So I missed the question. Go ahead. So you want to add something?
Well, I was just thinking, did you have I do wish, I know sometimes they do it, but not always. I do wish commentators were consistent with saying, is that your final answer?
Final answer. Yeah.
I wish that was, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
They have
Yeah.
a love-hate relationship with that. And
Exactly.
I just said it. It was, I missed it. And if you rewatch the match, I immediately am like I knew what it was immediately. And he asked for multiple choice. I hadn't gotten one. He's like, you can't go multiple choice. So he just said a random character or whatever. Gets it wrong, and right before Mark says the right answer, I mouthed it like I'm like Edna mode. Like I knew exactly who it was. And it's one of those rookie mistakes where you try to take your 15 seconds. Even if you heard it right and you're 100% sure that you know the answer, repeat it and be like, is it this person? And that's something I did. I felt like since I had missed the since this was something that I had studied for. And sorry, Zeke Gallo said Frozone on the I completely forgot who he said. But anyways, so by taking the your full 15 seconds, it's something that I did because I was like, I need to catch up. I need to get up there. And it was a rookie mistake because I knew the answer. And even Brian Dennehy, when I went multiple choice, and I'm like, is this a Dennehy question or not? And instead of, because I didn't want to use a repeat the question, and I should have, because if I would have heard Django, but I like when they asked the questions, I like blanked out. And that's the reason why I missed those two questions. And I'm so upset because I could have had a great round two. But once again, my round twos are just like on the floor.
However, you are going to be going on to your next match, and you know where you flubbed up, essentially. You recognize that. And so recognition and understanding where you went wrong, and that is a step at 100% in the right direction. So that's all you can ask for at the end of the day, walking away from a match, especially with the win.
I know, absolutely. And that's another thing. So I missed that one. Going to round three, being down a point, right? After giving him opponents and spinners. So you never want to be in that situation, given how the wheel for some reason, was on my side. It was just me that, I tripped up. And but whatever, it happens. The next question, I do my numbers, and it's reboots and remakes, and I get what 2000s. I don't know if they said the year or whatever, but they said it's a reboot remake. They're like stars Elizabeth Banks and Bryan Cranston. So let me explain to you, because you guys probably know the answer, because it's very, very easy. So what happened to me was that I'm picturing. See, so everybody's kind of half and half. So you knew it. You see?
I'm trying to think of her movies that she's in, Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
And I'm only thinking of like comedies, but not like comedy reboots. So I'm like,
So what happened was that I'm picturing all her movies, and I'm like, man, and I didn't hit that one for some reason, because I'm picturing her with Bryan Cranston in the same room, So I'm like here picturing them together. I'm like, did they act together? I almost said why him, but I knew it wasn't her. She wasn't it. I'm like, was she in a cameo? And then I'm like, is he in Charlie's Angels? Because I hadn't seen Charlie's Angels. I'm like, is it Charlie's Angels? And I'm like, no. And again, instead of, how in the Sleepless in Seattle, I wrote it. And this question, I just drew a blank where Chris was like, nothing. And I was like, dude, I don't got it. And they say Power Rangers. When they say Power Rangers,
man,
right? So that's Alex. That was exactly it. Exactly. So once they say the answer, I'm like, you idiots.
It's so obvious. Well, Bryan Cranston's kind of hidden. It's kind of like a hidden one. Like he was involved in the TV show as he was actually involved in the TV show way back in the day, playing the same character, which is so cool. Certainly brought that back. But oh my gosh, I totally spaced on that. Yeah.
So, but again, so it's I was like, when they said it, I'm like, you idiot. Like, how did you not get that? And I actually like that movie. I own it.
It's solid.
And I'm like, why did I miss that question? So I was so upset with myself. And whatever. The next question was who stars these three actresses star in a movie. What movie is it? And it was Kate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, and I forget who the third person that they mentioned was, but the answer was Ocean's 8.
Yeah.
So then he misses his 2-pointer, which was who plays Robin Williams' ex-wife in Mrs. Doubtfire, which I thought he had that 100%. I was like, oh, he's got it.
90s,
and when he didn't hit it, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Okay, so again, when he missed that question, I was like, oh my God, we still have hope. I still have hope. I'm good to go, And then obviously this was the first time. Well, actually, second time if you don't. Well, first time if you don't include the fan match that I won. It's the first time I get asked a 5-pointer. They, again, it's hit or miss. So I'm like, hopefully I pull something that I know. When they said Will Smith, I was kind of like, okay, I'm good. I've seen most of his films, this and that and that. And then the question was again, I don't know it verbatim. I think Leo Logan might know it because he's been just on the chat room, just
right.
on it.
He's got everything.
He's on it. But the question was, what NSA agent? And it was about enemy at the state, like who was caught on camera committing the murder. So I was between two people. So I don't know if it was the first time I heard of enemy, not of enemy of the state, but when I heard the question, I don't know if it was like who has the tape that had the crime, or who committed it. So that's why I asked for the repeat. So when I asked for the repeat, the second time I heard the repeat, I'm like, it has to be between these two people. And then it was right before my third repeat, I was like, I think I know who it is. So I asked for the last JTE. And then right on the countdown of 4, I'm like, I'm not gonna prolong this. I'm like, it's either this. I'm like, it's go in or go big or go home. And I hit the 5. So I'm obviously happy. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I hit it. Again, it's a movie that I've seen. A lot of people I've been reading. I read the comments, saying that, oh, he got such an easy 5-pointer. It's the number I drew, but some people knew it. And so I've asked some friends and they're like, I don't know. And I've asked some friends that, watch watch movies, like my roommate, he's a huge movie buff, and he's like, I wouldn't have gotten that, dude, but it just depends how many times you've seen the movie. But I felt like Jim's 5-pointer was near impossible. Like, he got what is the name of the law firm where Tom Cruise works in the firm? And that question was, I'm so glad, because I almost picked that number and I didn't. But I am so glad I didn't, because I was this close to getting that number. The reason why is because he took it before me, because he was up on the 3rd. So I had to go. I had to pick 2nd. But I'm glad I didn't. I felt bad. I felt terrible for him because he's such a great player. But again, we're in a tournament and I want to advance. But it's the second time this happens to him. He mentions in the post show where he got that room question, which I was there for that taping. I was in Collider when they were recording that, and they asked that, what's the name of the kidnapper in room, and everyone near me, and I'm telling you, I was next to elites, huge names, which again will not be mentioned, but elite players. And we were all looking, they're like, do you know? Because it's awesome being at the tapings, because we're there, we obviously can't speak, and we're there writing the answer and turning our phones, or okay, you got it, and that was zip. I think in the whole studio, maybe 2 people knew, and it was everybody's like, how did you remember? So again, when he got that, he doesn't remember, but I shook his hand and I was like, hey man, that was tough. You pulled a hell of a fight, this and that. And I didn't think I was going to face him the next match. I know he was going to be my opponent so fast. Yeah. But yeah, that, it's a tough question. I again, felt bad, but at the same time, I'm like, hey man, it's you or me, dude. So sorry, and, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the breakdown of what was going through my mind at that time. And again, it was, so going back what I said originally, how it was kind of like a duplicate scenario. I went with Brittany 7 for 8 in my in my second round. I spin crime, which overall I'm fairly good at. Right, I got films that I don't know anything about. I managed to get 2 wrong, 2 right, which same thing happened here, 2 wrong, 2 right. And then in my third round, I hit my second and third, but she missed her 5, so I didn't have to answer my 5. And this one, I missed my 2-pointer, but I hit my 2 and 3. So I got asked the same amount of questions in both matches and missed the same amount of questions in both my matches. So, yeah.
I can see how that worked out.
Yeah. Thank God.
There's a lot of matches. There's been a handful of there's actually just been a handful of matches, and I feel like Tom versus Tom coming up is one of those matches where I look at these competitors. I'm like, I don't want either to lose.
Yeah. I want both of them to lose, so I don't have to face them.
And same for like Alonso and Brendan as well. And I was like, I like them both so much. Please don't. Can we just call it neutral and both move on? Just break the bracket.
Imagine.
I'm sorry.
Imagine.
You're right. Tim versus Tom. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. No, it's okay. But the Alonso and Brandon match, Brandon was one of the first people that I spoke to, Schmoedown personality-wise, when I flew down for Spectacular. And sweetest kid ever, super nice, very knowledgeable, because let me tell you, he was just, and he remembers questions that he misses. Like, I don't remember what I remember, and I don't. Like, I'm like, what question did I miss again? Like, my friend's like, oh, so what'd you miss? I'm like, I don't know. Ask me when it comes out, and so, and the same thing, Alonso, I've never actually really met Alonso, but I've been a fan of his because of what he's done with Whitney and just on his own run. And he's a Droog, so I was like pulling for him as well. It was one of those, and that was one of my favorite matches because it was literally neck and neck. And I love matches like that. I love matches where if someone's down and they just, try to catch up as much. It was great. It was great. And they were just going neck and neck. It was fantastic.
There was also a line that Alonso said. I put it on I tweeted it out. I can't remember the specific line. Let me see if I can pull it up. But it pretty much said, Darla said, a young guy picking Hepburn against a 50-something gay man? That's a flex. And I was and I was like, fantastic. I love you so much. You're amazing.
Let me tell you,
so good.
Let me tell you that same thing. When he picked Hepburn, I was like, oh my God, he's literally, because even he was a little hesitant where Coy was like, oh, I don't like that. And he goes, no, I just know he's good at it, but so am I. I was like, holy shit, bro. We got a match.
Well, thing is, when it comes to picking those, you have to be. The thing is that you want to pick a slice. No, you pick that slice. It's a real big risk and high reward kind of situation because it also takes away a potential strength that they could spin in the next round. Obviously, now you can be confident even if you go into getting multiple choice. At the end of the day, you're taking that option away from him, your opponent, but also you got to be competent and enough in this slice in order to be like, I know I'm going to get every single one of them right. Even if it is 1 point, even if it's just multiple choice, I have to get every single one of them right. So it's again, high risk, high reward. So got to be careful with it. So it's been the downfall for many a competitor.
A lot of strategy comes into this game. It's not just you're based on general movie knowledge. Obviously you got your deep cut questions. If you think about it, there's only one real deep cut question you got to worry about, which is the 5-pointer. There's some in round 2 that they might try to hit you, but overall, and I speak from being a fan sitting down because my round 2s have not been on my favor, obviously. But round 2s, some will have deep cuts and some won't. It all depends. They'll probably throw out of the 4 questions, one will be a pretty hard question. But just knowing that knowledge and like when I study, I try to study a lot of deep cut questions. But if you mathematically, it doesn't, it just doesn't make sense because I have study guides. It's crazy what I have, right? And it's my sorry, I blanked out for a minute. But like whoever, like if it's Steph, my girlfriend, that's helping me study or something like that, she's like, realistically, out of these thousands of index cards that you have, how many of these do you think they'll ask you? And I'm like, in my match now, I don't know. I'm like I don't even know if I have it near me because I'm telling you, it's insane.
Everywhere. Category, coming of age, rom-com. everywhere. I can't imagine what it is like for you. I really can't.
Let me see if I can.
Are we gonna have an index card off, or what's going on here?
Well, it's not.
So I lose.
This is how I study like Oscar films. I have them all there. Who won, like all that stuff. Movie release dates. Trust me, it's nonstop. That's just one part. It's crazy, and I love it. You know what? That's the thing for me. I loved it so much, and I loved it before I was even a part. And even if I wasn't part of this, I'd still be following it hardcore. I fell off of it for a little bit, for like a year. Life got in the way. It was pretty insane stuff, like separation and all that stuff. Picked right back up on it once where they started coming. And then what I loved about it was, pre-relationship or whatever, like it's not something that I shared with her. Steph is all about it, and especially now that I'm in it, she's even more. And now she has her favorite characters and favorite players, like, and even when she's like, oh, if you play this person, I'm going to feel so bad of who to go for. I'm always going to go for you. But if they person wins, I'll probably be rooting for them as well. So it's just great that we share that. And she has a big, big love of movies too. So this for me was like, and she, again, I said it on the show last time. It's because of her that I'm in this. She won the ticket technically. She just gave me the ticket and was like, "Go kick some ass." Like, I know you're gonna do it. So yeah.
There's cool. We said there should be an award given, or a category or something, just given to partners of Schmoedown competitors, or just like a little for your consideration. Thank you to all these people, because obviously competitors competitors work for that, but at the end of the day,
she has fallen asleep with me, like needing to go to work like at 7 a.m, and she has fallen asleep with me before the gym match. She fell asleep right the day before my match. I think she needed to be at work like at 7 or 8. I'm not sure. She had to get up early, but she fell asleep at 3 a.m. while I was studying. And she was just throwing, again, the stack of index cards. She's like, whatever, I'm going through all of this. So whatever you get wrong, that's where you're going to study in the morning when I get to work, and it's just incredible, the support that she's given me. So yeah. Goals. It's her birthday today. I mean, well, it'll be her birthday. That's what we were at dinner. That's why I was like, give me like 5 minutes. I'm coming home from dinner. But no, it'll be in 45 minutes. It'll be her birthday. Her birthday's out tomorrow, the 24th. So.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, you're on the. Yeah, just remember, you are on the East Coast. You're down in Orlando, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So. No. I'm in Miami. I drove up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, because that's where we met. Okay, I'm mixing it up there.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. And we also had a couple other matches. Won't deep dive into them because they are pay-per-view and some of us haven't seen them, but just want to ask, Alex, what are your general thoughts about what happened during the pay-per-view match that happened?
Which match are we talking about?
I think I was shocked on both of them. Both of them were pretty...
First one. What are your thoughts?
For Shazam versus Who's a Boss, just want to brag about it, y'all. I called it. I fucking called it. I said these two teams. I was like, yeah, boy, yes. I called it both. I called it on the records, and I was like, these two are gonna win because of X, Y, and Z. And guess what? I nailed it. So there you go. That's brag or anything.
I was completely torn. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I was torn because, again, these are peers now, Bateman has, extended his, like, again, everybody plays a character, and I know we're supposed to stay in kayfabe and all that, but when I joined the league, he offered help. He still does. He'll message me like, hey, right before the match, how you doing? Me to him, like, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? So it's always been, we've always not keep in contact all the time, but, consider him a friend. Same thing with Riley, and then Bibbs. Bibbs was on my show just like 2 weeks ago.
Isn't he amazing?
We
love Bibbs.
He's such a fantastic range, so knowledgeable. We covered Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. We reviewed that movie, and I thought I knew a lot about that film, and he honestly just like, here you go, let me school you a little bit, and he honestly just drop some knowledge, some great knowledge he's like, hey man, they might ask that question, like little things like that where I was like, man, this is awesome. So I was torn. Before again, when we went to Spectacular, I was full throttle Shazam. I wanted them to win. A little story, which I told Bibbs as well. That trip for Spectacular, I didn't take a single picture with anybody. Not at the expo, not at any. Nobody even knew who I was. I walked in there being a fan. Just a couple people were like, "Oh, you're the guy that won the event at Orlando." But I was kind of like wanted to go there and just enjoy the show. I remember that PJ, when I walked in, he's like, "You're Jader," and I was like, "Yeah, oh yeah." He's like, "Oh, I'm PJ, nice to meet you." And then he goes, "Sit upstairs." So when I sit upstairs, I thought it was because I was late or whatever, and I ended up sitting next to Smets, Brienne, Janine. But again, they don't know who I am. They just think that I'm just a guy that is sitting down. So I didn't sit next to anybody. I sat next to them, but I didn't speak to them. I didn't want to bother them. I'm very like that. Even when in Orlando, when I won the competition, Harloff was like, "Oh, this is John Roca." And then I'm like, dude, Roca is honestly one of the reasons why I love this sport so much, because I loved what he did with the Outlaw and all that. I was a big Outlaw fan. Anyway, so when I'm going downstairs, I think it's funny enough, it's when Sam Levine was announcing The Usual Suspects. I was with Steph, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna go grab us a beer." And she's like, "All right, cool." So I went downstairs and I see Bibbs, and Bibbs had just lost the match, and it completely broke my heart that was the one picture I took that whole weekend, and I need because I just admired him so much, and I listened to his critically acclaimed podcast a lot.
Me too. Love it.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great.
So
and yeah, and I remember you can tell he was kind of like that, like he was down, and I was like, "I'm so sorry. I know what just happened," and I'm like, that's the time that I kind of used that flex where I was like, "I won the fan competition and I need to take a picture with you, please." And then he's like, "Oh man, congrats. I know who you are, yada, yada, yada." And he goes, "If you ever need any help, anything you need, just let me know. I'm there. Just tell me who you are, whatever." And he's been great ever since. So seeing him win, like, again, was it was bittersweet, because again, love Riley, love Ben Bateman, but I just wanted to see Shazam win. I did want to see them on top, it's just fantastic. And they showed up, man. They definitely showed up. It's insane. It's mind-blowing to say, like, the least, on how that turned out. So,
and real quick, we got a question from the chat. Unfortunately, it's that person is here.
But also, just want to point out,
because he has taste. That's why.
And also, get out of here.
That's my boy, man. That's my boy. Why?
No, he's not your boy. Okay,
he's not your boy. We're in the same faction, man.
Gosh, he doesn't. His faction doesn't even want him. That's what.
I love you, Hannah, man.
No.
You notice that I don't hate anybody. I just give everybody a hug. I'm like a big hippie. Like,
that is so on brand.
Involved in these matches, and it just sucks that you root for them and you also want the other team to win as well. So like the first match was really hard because I feel I'm Action Army. Ben is like, also I'm Team Bateman, so I'm rooting for who's the boss. I love Riley, but the kid's freaking amazing. I love Bibbs, and so no matter which way it was gonna go, I was gonna be upset about it.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's insane, and I hate it because there's a the more these matches are happening, the more you grow to love some people. Like, again, I have I've gotten a lot of support with this match when I posted, like, people that have requested me and just congratulating me, and it feels surreal that at first they were like, "Oh, who is this guy?" And then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey man, this, like, good shit. This is awesome. Keep it up." And it's been coming everywhere. It's just great. And that's another thing. Look what Adam Collins did. Look what Marisol McKee did.
Just saying. Speaking of which, Adam is in the chat. And by the way, I just want to say hi. Yes, he is in the chat. Right. Congrats against your big win against Babida, Jader, and good luck on the tournament. Glad to see you're a whiskey man. Let's share one glass today. Sorry, absolutely. A glass one day. Yes.
One day. No, I wish it was today, but yeah, no, definitely a whiskey, man. It's crazy because when they were announcing their Hurricane and Whiskey Man, and all my friends are like, aren't you like the Whiskey Man? I'm like, I'm not. I'm the Hurricane. They're like, but all you drink is whiskey. I'm like, I understand that, but this guy had the title before I did. I can't, And then they're like, all right. And but yeah, no, Adam Collins, when he came in, and I loved seeing that match because I knew what he did in the fan leagues. I saw what he did there, and I knew he was gonna dominate, just like Marisol. Marisol, actually, funny enough, I met her at Orlando, the same night that I met you guys. She was out there, and I know exactly how she got in the league, and I love the way that it happened, because when we spoke, and she's like, congrats. She goes, I really wanted the win as well. And then I'm like, hey, maybe they'll do it again. And her boyfriend was the one that was like, hey, to Harloff, he's like, you should give her a tryout or do whatever, because she definitely deserves a spot. Next thing I know, she was in the draft, and I wrote to her right away. As soon as I saw that she was in the draft, I immediately wrote to her, and I'm like, congrats, you're gonna kick some ass. And she kicked some ass. And again, it was against my teammate as well. But again, it's one of these things where it goes back to what we're literally talking about right now, where she is a rookie that I am, and it's not to like show the old people. It's just, I'm rooting for that rookie class for everyone. When it comes to Barbarian, Parker, Collins, everyone, Gallegos, McKean, everyone. I just want them to know, or them, I mean the league, to say like, hey, look, we're good too. I know we have these characters. We have a lot to show. We have a lot to prove. We have a long road ahead of us. But at least for me, I'm here to stay, and that's why I take the time to do what I do, again, because this, at the end of everything, it is movie trivia. It is what it is. But, we all have our lives. Like, I right now back up to school. I haven't been to school in a long time, but COVID made me open my eyes, and I'm going back to school. And I still want to be very, very, thank you, very, very much a part of this. So I talked to Christian and everything. I'm like, hey, I'm doing this, but hey, include me. I will be Superman if I have to, and it's full-time job, full-time school. I'll Schmoedown. I have my kids, I have my girlfriend, but let me be a part of this because I want it to be. I promise you that the day I saw the Schmoedown the first time, I'm like, man, I think I can do this. And then the game came out on the iPhone, and I downloaded the game, and which is mind blowing. I think I've said this on a couple of shows, because I open it to practice here and there, and you have your first level, like your easy tiers. The first matches that you go up against is Rachel Cushing and Mike Kalinowski.
Right?
It's insane to me, because I open it and they're like, oh, like the easy rounds. I'm like, no way, man. It's insane. And then up there you have your, like, because you have Dagnino, like one of the last people up there. Like it's crazy
so weird
to me.
They really need to up that app.
Yeah, they do. They should. You know what? I'm gonna write
app
it in the suggestion box. I love that app too. It really does, and it really helps with questions. And let me tell you, one of the two of the questions that are in the app one was in my fan match, and one was in the Brittany Young match. So
what?
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's fake right there.
Yeah.
I swear,
So
I
like,
haven't played the phone app. I haven't used the phone app in a long while, but it's like I noticed it's just like a lot of the questions were repetitive, and I didn't feel like that, at least when I played a long time ago, and there weren't that much variety of the questions. Like it would be like the same, like who played Goose's wife in Top Gun? Is it Elizabeth Shue? Is it this person? Nick Ryan, obviously. Yeah, but I remember like in the span of like an hour getting that question like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, come on, dude, come on. But it has been a very long time. So you just convinced me to, pick it up again for sure.
Yeah, it's the reason I got an iPhone. I had Android up until that app came out. I'm like, I want to play so bad. So the next upgrade, I'm like, I'm switching to iPhone.
Might as well.
Yeah. So they did you the favor.
Yeah, exactly. Apple should give them some money.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. But yeah, so that match was insane. It was insane. And then you had your main event, obviously, which was a freaking nail biter going back and forth.
That match was so like I was like literally at the final round. I was on the seat, my head like shaking. I'm like, what is happening right now? Like the adrenaline rush was insane.
Absolutely. Question: Are we're not spoiling the match, right?
We don't have to. No.
Okay, cool. No.
Just
I
general
was just saying, if we can or we don't, if we can, I have something to say. If we don't, then we'll stay quiet. Yeah, I love it.
We
Absolutely.
can. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we can totally go into it. We just don't want to like go.
I don't want to
deep. Yeah.
I don't want to go into detail. I just wanted to shout out a player.
Yes.
And that's Chance. Player of the year.
Player
Comeback
of the
player
year.
of the year.
Yes.
If that man isn't triple belted by the end of the season, man, unless it's going against me, then I'll probably have to take that away from him. But other than that, I promise you, I applaud that man. It's insane, his knowledge and how he came in clutch and the way the IG tournament turned out, and he just joined that, because whatever, I'll do it. It's insane to me. He definitely has my vote for either a comeback player or player of the year because he did both. He honestly, I'd give him both. It's insane. So just go ahead.
Yeah. Well, in his first season of being able, his season in IG, his first season competing in IG, and to beat Robert Parker, to beat Craig the Barbarian, as well as Kalinowski.
You're not you're talking about two rookies that were already before their first match. Well, not Barbarian, but Parker. But you saw Barbarian's first match. Everybody's like, this guy's gonna take the take it the whole way. Player of the year, rookie of the year. Same thing with Parker. Before his match, that hype was insane. And deservedly so. That first match was out of hand. He just swept Ace. It was crazy what happened. And then Ace comes in. Ace is another one we should be talking about. Ace comes back, joins Star Wars, and destroys everybody. Kudos to Ace, man. It's been such a crazy year, and it's been again, you have your because Chance is no rookie, but you have your younger players just dominating, and I love that. And that's one of the main thing. That the reason why, again, this whole conversation started was I'm gonna root for the rookies no matter what. Even if I go to the forfeits, I don't care. I want rookies to just make some noise so we can be like, hey, look, we're here too. And it's no disrespect to anybody that's been in the league, because again, I'm like very kumbaya. I love everybody, but I want yeah, absolutely. But
something I am kind of curious about. I know like I said, we're not going to go into huge deep dives into this. If that's something you're looking for, that's not what we're doing right now.
We're going to be doing a breakdown when it comes out.
We will be doing an official breakdown. It's going to be a whole thing. However, quick predictions, just initial thoughts. I kind of want to know from your perspective what you think. And like you said, you're very pro rookie and all that good stuff. So as a result of the matches, Finstock has a very, very difficult decision to make.
Yeah.
Founding Fathers, Who's the Boss, and I think it's kind of been low key. I don't want to say confirmed. It hasn't been confirmed, but it's been heavily implied by a lot. Yeah, a lot of rumors saying that Craig the Barbarian and Sabrina are gonna come together to form a rookie team. Out of all those teams, who do you think is going to be going on to the team's tournament?
All right. So had the matches gone different, obviously Craig and Sabrina were gonna look great.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna happen. If it's between one of those three, it all depends because Merle was like, I'm coming back. So that's one of the things where I'm like, is that a stamp thing where Merle's is gonna tell Dagnito like, hey, you're putting me back in because I'm gonna take this? Or is it gonna be one of those situations where maybe Bateman doesn't want to play, or they're like, hey, you know what? Like let's relax for a little bit. We lost. It sucks. Let's just move on. We'll wait for next season. Let these rookies do what they got to do. So it all depends on how the faction's feeling. What I got from all that, honestly, was Merle saying, and I'm pretty sure Roka's gonna be game because Roka saying like, hey, no, let the rookie. Roka's gonna be like, hey, yes, I am taking it. So my prediction is that Dagnito is gonna put the Founding Fathers.
And I feel like Founding Fathers. I feel like that's a given.
Yeah,
that's obvious.
But it's only one team.
Yeah,
I thought
that's what
I
I'm
thought they
hearing.
can only put two. I thought they can put two teams forward.
I heard it's one team.
Oh, okay. I'm misremembering completely. So forget me.
I thought
so
the
it is
same
Founding
as
Fathers.
well.
Okay.
I thought the same as well. I thought it was two perfection, but apparently it's only one perfection. So right now, everyone is trying to get into that tournament.
Yeah.
It feels like Mortal Kombat. It's awesome because if you see the behind the scenes emails and everybody's like, "Are you going in? Are you going in? Who's
each
going
other
in?"
in the
I'm
back.
like, "Oh
That's
my
so much
God."
better than you.
It's just 9 teams. So yeah,
that just hurts my heart. Teams, the teams tournament is something that I would have loved to see, just because the teams league division, tomato. Christian, I feel like he's gonna come at me in my DMs because of that.
absolutely.
You know, teams is my personal favorite division within Schmoedown, just because I love all the drama and I feel like the chemistry, the team aspect of it as well, obviously, and I love singles and everything as well, and IG and Star Wars, but teams hooked me when I first started watching Schmoedown. And so knowing it's not nearly going to be as big as a tournament hurts my heart.
I know. I wanted more teams.
But I understand.
I wanted more teams. I was like, really wanting the CEO said it. He was like, one per team, man. I was like, man, and because I want to join a team league. I'm dying to jump in there, and show, but it is what it is. That's why I was going with that, because the way Dan said that, I was like, yeah, no, it's definitely going in there. Oh no, absolutely. Hey, Yodi Award. The Yodi Award over here, man.
We very selfishly want more.
We always want more. Okay, Eric, you've given us so much good content and everything we genuinely love, and we're greedy for more.
I don't think Eric sleeps. I promise you, because when he's not doing that, he's in video drew. It doesn't matter what time it is. I am writing with. I'll write to him random times, and he'll respond like this, and I'm like, dude, it's insane. It's insane. Everything. Yeah. He's Superman. You know.
Yeah, true.
So
not
shout
to mention,
out to
I know
Eric.
Him and Drew and Andres as well, because Andres doesn't live with them, but he's around a lot. He says he's like good friends, with the dungeon and everything. But at the same time, they all work at night, are their night owls essentially. So as a result, they're all always up at like 5 a.m. They go to sleep at 9 in the morning.
That was my old afternoon. That was my old life too. I used to serve and bartend, so I used to be a night owl as well. I still kind of am. I'm still used. And I haven't been in the service industry in I want to say like 3 or 4 years now, probably a little bit more. But I'm still always up at night for some reason. And then right before my alarm goes off for me to actually go to work, I'm like knocking out. It sucks. Like today, I'm on like 3 hours of sleep.
Oh man.
Schmoedown does that to you. That's what I'm sure.
It definitely does. It definitely does.
All right. Well, I think we covered everything that happened this week pretty well. So I think it is about time we move on to, let's see, coming matches predictions, things that are happening in this week. I'm going to just list through all the matches. Let me know if there's any particular ones you want to talk about a bit. For sure, we'll be talking about one big one, but we have Mark and Draco versus Matt Atchity happening on Monday. Tim Franco versus Tom on Tuesday. Mike Kalinowski versus Perry on Wednesday. Chance Ellison versus David Del Rio on Thursday. And then a really tiny match I think I heard about where it's Ben Bateman versus Andrew Guy and Kevin Smith versus Chris Jericho. I mean,
even smaller.
Even smaller, right? Just that's no big deal.
Who are they?
Who are those people?
Jesus.
Who are they?
All right, so what match are we going to talk about?
Oh, let's go in order. Everything you mentioned, just hit me with them. What's first?
All right, Mark and Drake.
Oh my God, that's another one, man. This one I'm gonna probably be a little bit more one-sided because I haven't personally met Matt Atchity. I am a fan of his. I think he's very funny, but I've actually had several conversations with Draco, and I'm a big fan of his. He was another one that literally sat down with me the day of my match at the taping of my match, and we were just talking movies. He, told me his favorites. He gave me a list of a couple that I've actually seen 3 of the, I think 4 or 5 that he told me to watch, which were incredible. So I want to, and I know that Andreyko wants this so bad because eventually he wants to face Bateman and all that, and I want Andreyko to take this one. That's my prediction.
Alex, what do you think?
Same. I love Matt Atchity. I think he's all on a bag of chips. But I feel like, at the end of the day, Andreyko, he's a better strategist. He just knows the game a lot better. So I think that's why he's going to walk away with the win.
Yep, that's where I'm going to. I think Andreyko. Matt Atchity is great, but I think he's definitely one of those players that's more, this is fun, let's just have a good time to play. And then I think Andreyko, since he's had a belt and things like that, he's just got that little extra drive behind him playing as well. So, yeah, Andreyko winning as well.
Yeah. So it's unanimous.
It's unanimous, and we'll all be wrong. We'll see how that goes.
I like to think of it as great minds thinking alike. Okay.
There you go.
All right, next match.
That's what I'm thinking.
Franco versus Tom.
Now, just to clarify, I just want to let you guys know, Jader, however, obviously cannot go into detail about this, but however, you can definitely silently judge us a little bit on Kelsey prediction.
How about this?
Just because,
I know who wins, so this is the winner.
And you are also face the winner, so
they both lose. That's it.
They both lose.
So yeah, no, I'll listen. This is the one that I'm gonna skip. You guys can definitely go with your predictions, whatever you think. Go ahead, go now.
Right. Alex, what are your thoughts?
I feel very torn because I love both these competitors so much. I do think it's gonna be Tom. I do feel like honestly, Tom does have more core knowledge than Tim Franco, and but thing is, I also feel like Tim Franco is also a better strategist just because he's a genuine fan of the game a lot more. But I think it's going to be the knowledge. So I do think it's going to be Tom, personally.
I don't know Tom as well as I do know Tim. I've talked to him a lot. I know how much work he's been putting into things like that. I know just how much strategy he's bringing into the game. I'm gonna go with Tim. I think he's gonna pull the win on this one. I think Tom was great in teams and things like that. I'm interested to see how he does against him, and so I think Tim's gonna pull.
Good stuff. I love that. It was 1-on-1. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That was
sometimes
great.
we don't agree.
Sometimes great minds don't agree.
Sometimes we don't think alike, and it's fine. All right.
I'm gonna explode. So let's go to the next match, please.
All right, Mike versus Perry.
Thoughts are going to be said. Okay.
Let me tell you. Go ahead. You first. You ladies first. Go ahead. I want it all. Give it to me, girl.
Alex, what do you think?
Okay. Hear me out.
We're listening.
KO just had a huge Schmoedown moment, and it was beautiful. I don't know why, but my gut's telling me Perry. Perry has again, I'm hesitant to call her a rookie because she has played in teams. I don't remember her playing in singles, but she was she wasn't part of Scream Queens, but she was part of the other one where they came out as a dinosaur, and she was crazy.
She was
impressive.
in Tough Beats, right? Wasn't her?
Yeah, Tough Beats. Yes, thank you. It was a long time ago. But I remember her, and not to mention she was crazy impressive during all the exhibition matches that she's been a part of. Movie release dates. So the recent releases, as well as the you can't forget the most amazing iconic exhibition matches ever, the Jurassic Park matches. Do yourself a favor, go check it out.
Amazing. Amazing.
As a result, she just has, I do think, just to say, KO has also, as a man, he's doing a lot. He is singles, teams, as well as IG. That's a lot to take on. I do think, I don't know, something in me is saying Perry, just because she's almost angry for it. She's like, I want it right now. That's what it feels like. I can't explain it.
All right. And my thoughts are, I have heard rumor that Perry's extra motivated this time around, that she's been studying for it. She's super excited and ready to play. That's what Koi told us everything she's been working and getting ready for it. But Mike, man, he's just a champion. He's on a heat streak right now. He is kicking butt. He's got his swagger back. I mean, that's trademarked somewhere else, but you know what I mean? And it's just, I feel like he is on a roll, and I think it's actually a bit closer than a lot of people will expect it to be, but I do think Mike pulls the win.
What can I say? I just love me an upset. I just do. I can't help it. I'm all about the upsets here.
So
okay.
My thing is kind of gonna piggyback off of both of you. I am such a huge Perry Nemiroff fan from the Collider days and all that, and I just love her movie reviews. I like, gush when I heard she was coming back. I'm like, oh, am I gonna be able to be? I haven't met her yet, Unfortunately, the fall of everything that happened, and it sucked. And I thought once I got signed on, that I was eventually gonna meet some of the personalities. Perry being honestly one of the ones that I was dying to meet. So I hear that she is so motivated, and I know from not personal thing, but like what I've seen, and that she's even like in fantasy football leagues, and that she's so competitive, and that she's not happy with what happened with Tough Beats. Or so that is just the fuel you need, But how do you count Mike out? He, like you said, he's a champion. I do feel like there might be an upset, though. I don't know what it is that I feel that Perry could do it. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked, and I don't think anybody will be. And just like Kelsey said, it will be a close match. I feel like it'll go down to maybe the 5, but it might be. And I feel like also Kalinowski might be even exhausted of everything that he, with studying for IG, then jumping on this, and
that
teams and
glorious
singles.
Beard.
There you go.
He's such a beautiful beard. And you do as well. It's so nice.
So many
and I'm just like,
right now. It's like
just such
a
nice beard. So here for the facial hair.
It is a nice beard, but I don't again, and it's just something that's telling me that it might be Perry. Wouldn't be surprised if Mike wins, and that's kind of like the like easy answer, the cop-out answer. But just what I've been hearing, that Perry's just the way she's been studying, the way she's really like. She had such a good time with the exhibition matches, and again, if you haven't seen the Jurassic Park matches, please watch them because it's been fantastic. But I feel like that is just the fuel you need to just get their focus, and we've seen some upsets, and I love them. So Zip being one of them, that Zipper match for me, it was like holy shit.
That to me wasn't a huge upset, but
really.
I just I'm very biased just because I feel like Zipper is like one of those underrated competitors ever.
Very underrated.
And I remember getting into a Facebook feud with someone, and they just went off and be like how he's overrated. He should not be He shouldn't even be in singles. He should be in teams, if anything, if he's lucky. And I was like, you shut your hole. Oh my gosh, how dare you?
No, absolutely. No. And you know what? You're
right now, though.
You're absolutely right.
So mean.
I feel, and I've talked to Zipper plenty of times. I was there for the Stacey Howard match. I was at the studio. And let me tell you, I can imagine what you guys went through. What the studio, how everybody lost their mind watching that. But it happened to him again, and it happens to him all the time, where he's just kicking some ass, and then it's always at the last question that it just and that's why I'm terrified of round 5 questions, because you can be doing great, and if you don't hit that when you need to, and that's it, that's the match.
He's amazing.
Huge shout out. I love Zipper. He knows I love him, man. But I was, honestly, it's not that I was counting against him, but Preston is no chump either. But the upset isn't the fact that Zipper won. It was the whole TKO thing. That was the whole like, holy shit, like he did it, and he came to play. It was amazing. But
he did so well, and he's been studying so hard. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
He genuinely loves Schmoedown so much.
All right, the next match we have to talk about is Chance Ellison versus David Del Rio. I have my thoughts. I'll go first this time. I think Chance is going to win. I think Chance is just like pretty much unbeatable right now. I don't see him losing for a very long time if it does happen. So I definitely have Chance winning.
Right. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. Chance. Nothing against Del Rio. I hear he's a hell of a player. Very, very talented. I actually follow him, so I know he loves movies, dude. But for me, it's just Chance is on this streak, and he hasn't showed weakness
Yep.
He hasn't. He's been there. He's been playing. And again, Del Rio hasn't been playing. He hasn't, you know. So for me, it's Chance, and that's it, man. Chance.
Alex?
Yeah, we're good. It's Chance. We can just move along. I mean, Chance. I mean, come on. I don't know. He's like the new version of Superman. He's Schmoedown Superman right now. So it's crazy.
He really is. He really is.
Man of Steel. Can't be beat. All right. And so then we have 2 more matches to talk about. We'll talk about the first one that I definitely have biased opinions on. Ben Bateman versus Alex. Your thoughts, but let the people hear.
Oh, obviously. It's obviously Andrew Guy. Come on now. Get out here.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here.
Okay.
I'm
Jader,
sorry. Dude, did you... The match we just saw? No, actually, I shouldn't say that. But yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to say Andrew Guy. I'm going to say Andrew Guy because obviously. Do you know who we are? Okay. It is called action. Okay. And one of them is a traitor. He's not with us anymore. So whatever.
There are worse traders out there, and he was in our chat earlier. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, there are worse traders out there. There is a handful of traders, you know, in history, and Bateman's going to go down in the top 10 traders in history for sure. You know, so yeah.
All right, Jader, what are your thoughts? That's more like backed opinions.
Yeah. Again, had it been when was it? July? No, I think it was June. I don't even know when I got traded. When I got traded, I would have said Andrew. Before, when I was in the suspects, I would have said Andrew Guy all the way. This is what's going on. I know I am on his show, but I feel like it's gonna be Bateman, man. I don't know. I have this hunch that
you're creeping up there.
I know
on the list of top traders.
I'm not being a traitor. I'm not being a traitor. You're asking me for my opinion.
I stand by what I said. I said what I said, Jader. I said what I said.
All right. Well, to put some price in this group, I'm always Team Bateman. I am the misfit of this crew. And I think he just gets better and better every time we see him. I love Debonair. I'm excited to see Debonair perform again. I'm interested to see what happens now that he's a little paranoid or something about some sort of Schmoedown or something corrupting things. I don't know. I'm interested to see what version of Drew we're getting.
I love that.
But Bateman is just Bateman, and I just can't. I can only see him losing if some weird wheel spin happens that just happens to not go in, like, which is very rare. There's very few things I don't feel like go in his favor. And it's gonna be Ben. It's gonna be Ben. Alex.
People are allowed to be wrong. I get it.
Yeah, you are. You're allowed to be wrong, Alex, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's
okay. You're gonna be okay.
She's gonna accept it.
Are you gonna be okay here by the end of the week? Are you gonna be okay when the Schmoedown mod is gonna come to your house and be like, "Bitch, where is? You better change your stance."
Oh man.
Who are you, and what have you done with the real Kelsey?
Kelsey's always been Team Bateman. Before I was even in the action,
I know, and we've always thought that this is somehow incorrect. Obviously, this is not right because the real Kelsey would not behave this way. The real Kelsey,
leader of the Schmoedown over here.
Schmoedown's gotten to me.
Exactly. Kelsey is the leader of the Schmoedown.
It's Paul. Paul and I. He's corrupted. It's fine.
He's the assistant.
Oh, wow.
Kelsey's the ringleader.
Wow. All right. So
Paul, she's caught on.
All right. So let's dig a little bit deeper on this. Well, not too much deeper, but score predictions. Is it going to be close? Is it going to be a knockout? Is it going to be TKO? Is it going to go to the 5-pointer? Where are we going with this?
With the way Drew is playing, it's like I can see it being. I think it's not going to be definitely not a KO. Don't think a TKO either, but I just, like I said, I don't think it's going to be as drastically as
my love.
What?
We got like 20%.
You're breaking up there.
Oh.
We were breaking up there. We only heard like maybe 2 words. I'm sorry.
Dang it. Okay, well, pretty much I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be a KO. I don't think it's going to be a TKO. I think it's going to be determined 3 or 5-pointer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's honestly where I'm at as well. I feel, given the last match that we saw from Guy, that he's gonna study. Obviously, like I said, the suspects, the study tactics is great. I feel like a lot of people are gonna have his back, hopefully, and I feel like it's gonna go down to the 3 or 5 as well.
Yeah,
right,
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think you guys are totally right. Bateman is going to lose by a 3 or a 5 pointer. And I think at the end of the day, Schmo and Adi are just going to come to his house and take all of his notes. And what is he going to leave him? Nothing.
Nothing. I like that.
That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Facts, guys. Facts.
Oh, man.
All right. Right.
And then the smallest match, the Schmoedown has ever
match
had.
of the week. What just pittance compared to the other ones? Smith versus Chris Jericho.
There's not a bigger match than Guy and Bateman, is there? There's no. I don't think so.
No.
Smaller.
No.
Not a big deal.
What? Yeah. This next match should have been the undercard of anything.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, what are your thoughts?
What's up?
Oh, Jader, what are your thoughts?
No. All right, so this is, I mean, who isn't a fan of Jericho and who isn't a fan of Kevin Smith? And did you guys see him on SEN? Like, that guy made me want to, he inspired me to do things that I never thought I wanted to do.
I could have listened to him talk to 24 hours straight.
Absolutely. And man, can he talk. Man can talk. But I think watching what he said, like the way he was saying it, how he's like, don't think that I'm all that great, because how he mentioned that story of Bruce Willis on Cop Out, and how he kept mentioning the pop culture references from back like then, and then he still references the 90s. I listen to Jericho's podcast. I'm a big fan of anything Jericho does, to be completely honest with you. And my girlfriend is like in love with his kick. She's like, have you seen that man kick? It's fantastic. And then she one of the biggest things that when I told her that he was joining, she goes, are we gonna meet him? I was like, I don't think so. I'm like, I wish. But yeah, no, seriously. She's like, please. She goes, that's probably somebody that I'm dying to meet. I was like, all right, cool. But he does have a lot of movie trivia knowledge. He really does, because if you listen to it, he goes into details when he talks about film, where I'm like, man, this guy could be scary about Kevin Smith. But again, Kevin Smith is in the industry. He's a big nerd. It depends what type of film, what type of questions going to have. This is not an Inner Geekdom match. I feel like Kevin Smith will be better in an Inner Geekdom match than a singles match. However, this is something that I don't think Jericho is going to knock him out. It just depends on what Kevin Smith we're going to get, but it sucks to say, because I'm such a huge Kevin Smith fan, but I give the win to Jericho. And I don't want to, because, he's a rock star. You know what? I changed my mind. Kevin Smith. I just remembered right now that,
he was associated with.
Yeah, that he was associated with. No. Kevin Smith is coming for that ass, man.
Real quick, we have Ben Rayner with a super chat. I see Smith beating Jericho. Everyone forgets Smith beat Dan Murrell in MVP. Also beat Elijah Wood. Also Drew will win it, but it will be close. All right.
I like it. I like that. I like that, Ben.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I might be perfectly honest. I had never heard of Jericho before Schmoedown. I have looked into Jericho.
Me either. I really didn't.
I don't follow the rest of wrestling at all. But other people in my life, I'd be like, yeah, this guy Chris Jericho's going to Schmoedown. Like, Jericho's on Schmoedown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But looking into things now since that announcement, and seeing interviews and seeing his promo with Rockstar, like that, I definitely can see the energy he's bringing to the Schmoedown. I think gamemanship-wise, he might be a little bit more on top of it than Kevin Smith is. I think I could totally see Roxy being like, okay, you're going to get into his head. You're going to do this. Plus he's a heel, I've heard. So, you're just...
That's him? A heel?
Yeah.
No.
That's like I heard. Rumor
Kelsey,
has it.
You know what you just did? You put yourself on the list.
Anyway.
No. Okay. Whatever. No.
Like I said, I don't follow wrestling. But Kevin Smith, I feel like maybe has a bigger base knowledge per se. But listening to him on SEN, pulling things takes him a sec. So it's probably there. but can he pull it in 15 seconds? Can he pull it in 30 if he does a JTE? That I don't know. I agree. I think it's going to depend on what wheel size he pulls. I think that's the round it's going to make the difference. What does he spin in round 2? If it's something he's really strong at, he's got a solid shot of winning. If it's something that he's just not interested in, or it's more like he has to sit there and think about it for a bit. So I honestly, I think I have Jericho winning.
And we also have to think about, is he going to pick? Okay, so can he have Kevin Smith movies as a slice? Can he? Is it official? Can someone answer me that?
I have heard. I'm a big Fat Man on Batman fan, Fat Man Beyond fan. Like, I do listen to a ton of Kevin Smith podcasts. He forgets his own movies a lot sometimes.
He does. Yeah, but
So
that
I don't
would
know
be
if Kevin Smith would be actually that much of a
huge flex
benefit for him.
No, absolutely.
I love.
He'll be
Can
like,
you imagine if Jericho puts it on the wheel? If Jericho
oh my gosh, that would be a huge flex.
And then he gets
Jericho
it, and you're like,
puts it on the wheel, gets Spinner's choice, and takes Kevin Smith movies on to Kevin Smith.
That would be
holy
so
shit.
That would be so good.
Oh, that would be like what Brenda Meyer did. You picking Kevin Smith, the Kevin Smith category, going up against Kevin Smith. Now that's a flex.
That's a flex, man.
I would love that. Okay, this match is very interesting to me. I remember watching his. I watched Kevin Smith's interview with SCN, and I thought it was awesome. It was really good. But clearly, the guy has gaps in his knowledge. I don't think he's very knowledgeable when it actually comes to actual movies themselves all that much. He can talk about the history and symbolism and, a lot of writing and everything, but I don't think he has good retention when it comes to all that stuff. And I don't think he is good with the nitpicky stuff. But also, him being directly, being in Hollywood, working in that life, obviously, it would be a very big deal. However, I just don't think he has it compared to Jericho. I've heard him on his podcast a handful of times. He whips out these random things, and I'm like, it's cool that you can talk about behind the scenes stuff, and this one time you're on the red carpet with someone and all that good stuff, but that's not going to be useful in Schmoedown, honestly. So what isn't useful in Schmoedown? Dates, actors, actresses, specific plot points, and I don't think Kevin has that, to be honest. So,
I mean, again, I'm all for that. However, it was just the Rockstar thing that I was like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You have very valid reasons. We have to go with Jericho beat The Rock and Austin on the same night to become the undisputed champion. And then
Absolutely.
I did see on the chat.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you guys give me like 20 seconds? I'm so sorry.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. While he's stepping away, there's a question that we can answer is, do you think they're going to give him softball questions? Do you think they're going to be like the Celebrity League questions we've seen in the past, or are they going to be like full Schmoedown competitor quality?
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a weird question. A question about questions. It's like at the same time, I feel like when we had the celebrity matches with the cast of like Glow and things like that, there were definitely softball questions. And, or there was like the cast of Stranger Things on board. But the thing is, that really kind of, I feel like it would be kind of a dick move if they purposefully gave him softball questions for the purpose of trying to get them more involved, if that makes sense.
Okay. What are your thoughts here about the level of questions that they're going to get? Do you think they're going to get the standard competitive level questions, or like more like the celebrity matches we've had in the past level?
I don't think they're going to be celebrity matches questions, to be honest. Like what we've seen with the
like the cast
the crew, It and Stranger Things and all that stuff. Or even who was pretty good in that celebrity match? Alex Wolff from Hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
He went against Logan. He did pretty good. I think they're going to be, I don't think they're going to be extremely hard. They're going to be mid-tier. Obviously, your round ones are always going to be your round ones.
Yeah.
I think those are going to be softer because let me tell you, the round one questions overall, they've been decent. They haven't been hard, but they'll throw one in there where you're like, oh, okay. I feel like they're going to be all round one questions are going to be pretty easy. I feel like the wheel round questions are where they're going to pick up a notch a little bit. So I feel like mid-tier. I don't think they're going to give them extremely hard questions, and I don't think they're going to give them like softball questions at all. So mid-tier is probably going to be the best.
Yeah, I think that's about where I think as well. Like Thrawn points out here is like it would be pretty sad if they only pull like 5 points each, especially if it's like such a big hyped match. So I definitely see them making sure not to put like ones that Beryl would have problems with.
Yeah, they're bringing in crowds. You got to remember that Jericho is going to post this on his page. Kevin Smith posted it on his page. Their fans, if they don't know what a Schmoedown is, they're gonna come and watch this. So they want people again to follow this and to play along. They're not gonna give them also like the hardest questions. People are like, oh, that's impossible. You know, they're gonna want to make people more involved. It's the point of the round one question.
Makes sense.
So I feel like this is gonna bring a lot of fans to the Schmoedown. I mean, Christian is super excited. He's like super giddy about it, as he should be. I told him that. I was like, you should be super happy about this. It's huge, and this is gonna just bring like even with my matches. When I posted, a bunch of my friends would message me and they're like, what the hell is that? Why are you on TV? and then when I explained to them, and then I'm like, no, it's basic movie trivia. And then they're like, dude, I saw your episode. It was awesome. Some of them like went back and started watching all these episodes. They're like, man, I can't believe, so-and-so. And then now they're like, well, Team Action was one of them. Like, man, they're douchebags and then they're not together now. What's going on? And he's like, this thing is crazy. And then they're like, who are you going up against next? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's between this guy and this guy. They're like, oh man, it better not be that Tom guy. I saw him. And I'm like, dude, it's awesome that you know this now, So it's great. And a lot, my sisters, my brother's into it now. And they're actually following. And then my fans that are movie fans that know I'm in the show, they're like, dude, Kevin Smith and Jericho, dude. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, I'm tuning into that. Like, and I'm like, oh, you got to pay for it, but it's worth it. And then they're like, no, they're like, dude, whatever. So it's been awesome. It's been really, really awesome. So, yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, I think it's about the time to get the chat more involved. So I'm going to ask for questions from the chat. Wow. So get all your questions in, Schmoedown related or not. While we're waiting for you guys to send in your questions, we're going to do some plugs and talk about where you can find us, what we're working on, starting with Alex. Where can people find you and what are you up to?
You can find me at Real Alex Mac on Twitter, and I do a handful of things. This Wednesday, we're going to have a den-themed Schmo-bait. It's my debate show here on Call to Action, where we debate to death on all things Schmoedown, asking Schmoedown's biggest and weirdest and most interesting questions. And so it's going to be den-themed. So I'm actually going to have Kate Mulligan as my co-host. So it's going to be really fun to see how that's going to play out. And on Tuesdays, I host a show called Cinema Bias. Jader and actually I just realized Kelsey, we haven't had you guys on either of you guys on. We're kind of dive into our personal movie biases. We kind of challenge each other to watch a movie we've never seen before, see something that's kind of outside of our wheelhouse. Like I never saw a David Cronenberg movie until Drew asked me to watch it, and so I watched a Videodrome.
What'd you think?
It was weird.
I
get it, but it's like symbolism, communication. Where there's a lot going on in this technology, intelligence. What is? Yeah. There's a lot to dive into that.
Cronenberg movies are weird. Cronenberg movies are weird. I saw. There's some good ones though, but there's some that are like, what the fuck.
What's going on here? I just saw Maps to the Stars earlier today, which I was like surprised by how much I actually really enjoyed, which is so weird. But also directed by David Cronenberg. But I also watched my first David Lynch movie with Blue Velvet.
Nice.
What? I have no idea what that's about. It was weird. I was just like watching, and I was like, "What's happening? What's happening?"
It's a little weird. Lynch is another one. I like Cronenberg more than I like Lynch. I'm not crazy about Lynch.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But you mentioned one of like 3 or 4 Lynch films that I've seen. I've seen Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, Dune, and I forget. Oh, Eraserhead. And Eraserhead.
I've seen Scanners. I was like, that movie's weird. Actually, I really liked Scanners.
Yeah, Scanners is awesome.
I was like, I feel like I'm watching like an extended version of a music video. It's so weird. And I was like, literally.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's me. That's everything I do.
All right, Jader, where can we find you?
I mean, Facebook and Instagram, my name, last name, and then Instagram, infamous J13. You can find me on cinesportstalk.com. That's the website that I write for. I haven't written anything in a long time. I just do my live shows there now. I have a weekly show that we do, and I have a lot of Schmoedown personalities, and sometimes I just bring some of my friends. I had RB3 on. I've had Ben Goddard on. I've had Janine the Machine, Bibbs, Mark Ellis. I've had quite a few people on. It's been a lot of fun. And it's a weekly show. Basically, it's pretty easy. We interview the guest, whoever it is. Very quickly, Schmoedown talk, same thing, kind of predictions. What are you getting yourself into? How'd you get into the Schmoedown? This and that and that. And then the second half is what I do is I let the guests give me 5 films. I put it on a poll, and whatever the winner is, we'll discuss that film. Except for Mark Ellis, he didn't have a choice. We talked Dumb and Dumber because it's my favorite movie. It was my birthday episode. So I'm like, hey, dude, it's my birthday. You're coming on the show. And he goes, absolutely. So that's on Cine Sports Talk. You can find that on the it's called the Jader and Kyle Show, and then you can just type that in on YouTube and you'll find it. So yeah.
Very cool. All right.
Thank you.
And you can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. I also run the Call to Action Podcast Instagram, so you can interact with me there. TeePublic, we've got merch. We got masks. Wear your masks. I also do some behind-the-scenes work and ask questions from the chat for Chill to Action, which happens on Mondays. And tomorrow we have a fantastic episode. It's our 50th. So we're having our boys, the formerly together Team Action. We're going to bring them together for a night of fun. Super excited. Don't cry, Alex. It's going to be super fun. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been working on. And then after this show, I'm actually going to be over on Video Drew's late night after dark show. And I am scared and excited to be on there. So maybe I'll see you guys over there.
She's so great. She's so great. I love her. I did the Scream 2 quiz with them. And that was so much fun. I had a blast. Yeah.
You want to hear something really funny?
Sure.
I have not seen any of the Scream movies.
I saw them for the first time a year ago, but you need to see them, Alex. I think you would actually like.
I haven't seen them.
Movies.
So check this out.
I've heard nothing but good things. It's just like I haven't seen a single one. I know everything involved with them.
Oh, so check this out. I did a watch along last week with Janine and Abby Friel, and it was. And I honestly love that movie, but the best thing for me was that Abby and Christina, Tina had never seen, or not never seen, they had never seen the movie, but they did not know who the killer was. It was completely not spoiled for them, which is rare. You did? Oh my God, that's the best.
I was in the generals chat and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then Brandon is like, wait, did you not know how this thing get spoiled for you? And I'm like, nope, I had no idea.
Oh man. So yeah, no, I asked before, before we started the stream. It's one of my favorite horror movies and of all time. The reason why is because it was the first horror movie that I snuck in to see that movie. Little quick background on that movie. I went to this movie theater that was across the street from my cousin's house, but I would spend all my weekends at my cousin's house. And we had a dollar theater across the street. $1, you can watch whatever movie you want. Those were the best, right? And this was 96. I was 10 years old when Scream 1 came out. And we went to go see this movie called That Darn Cat, which I don't know if you guys know, with Christina Ricci and Dougie Doug. And mid-movie, his older sister, my older cousin, she was with her boyfriend, and they went to go see Scream. So I sit down in That Darn Cat like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, this movie's stupid. I get up and I go. So when I go, I sneak into Scream because I know that's where my older cousin is. I'm trying to find her to see if I can go. But then I sit down and the movie had just started because it's Drew Barrymore on the phone. And I'm watching that movie and I got so invested, but at the same time, so scared that I couldn't move. But I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I remember that movie ended and it like not traumatized me, but it scarred me to the point where I was like out, like we were in the car and my eyes were just like if I had just seen the devil, right? I got so, I guess, scared that I called my mom that night. I'm like, hey, can you pick me up? They didn't tell her why. I didn't tell her anything. I was just like, can you pick me up? She's like, yeah, sure. She picks me up and I'm like, they're crying. Not crying, but I'm like, still staring at the car window. And she's like, what's wrong? She probably thought that someone did something to me because I was just so pale and quiet. Where we got home, she's like, what's wrong? And then I'm like, I start crying. I start telling her that I saw this horror movie and that it scared the shit out of me. And she's like, well, who told you to sneak into that movie? Like, my mom was like, whatever, sleep in your bed by yourself if you want to start watching scary movies like that. My mom never liked them, right? And then I grew an obsession with it because of how I felt. Like, at that age, I thought it was so great. And then I remember when it came out on video I rented it like the first night it came out, and I had like my cousin sleep over and we all watched it together. Everybody freaked out, and it just became, I was obsessed with it where I would watch it like once a day. I know that movie verbatim, word for word, everything. And I remember going with my aunt to for the when Scream 2 premiered in the theater, the very, very first night that movie came out, my butt was in that chair a year later watching it. Love that franchise. Not all of them are great, but I still have that, you know, some are guilty pleasures, but one and two for me are fantastic. And you really, really need to watch them, please. I'll do a watch along with you if you want to.
Oh my gosh.
So down.
Well, I had to. Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, I have a quiz question for you, actually. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. How many films in the Scream franchise has director Wes Craven directed?
He did all of them, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Do all four? Yeah,
it's the only sequels he's ever done.
He's ever done. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I know. Oh no, trust me. I love those movies. He did. I remember 4 when I dragged my little sister to see 4. My little sister, she's 30, and we went, and I remember that when 4 came out, I thought it was so. I loved how edgy it was with the technology and how they kind of like they modernized it, you know. And that movie ended. I was like, man, that was pretty good. I thought it was gonna be a piece of shit. And she's like, that movie sucked. What is wrong with you? And I'm like, no, shut up. It was awesome. And then I feel like a lot of people I first didn't like it, but for some reason it's grown in popularity. I feel like 4 is. I feel like it was superior. For me, it goes 1, 2, 4, and 3. But yeah, Wes Craven did them all. He also did in '94 he did New Nightmare. That was another sequel.
That's true. That's totally right. You guys are right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna have to watch it. Yeah, there's a bunch of movies I've not seen. I haven't seen any movies from like Nightmare on Elm Street franchise or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or I'm like Lois Key scared to watch them, but what are you gonna do?
If Christian does a horror league,
No, I don't want a horror league. No,
I'd watch horror league. I don't know the movies, but I'd watch it.
No, I know. I'll watch anything they put out.
Look at my shirt.
I understand. Okay, the reason why is because, if anything, what is most underused category in Schmoedown? It is classics.
Absolutely.
And I think classics should be its own thing, because that includes so many hundreds of thousands of movies. It includes so many amazing, not only movies, but actors and directors and everything that are not referred to enough. And as a result, I think it should be utilized. You know, it's not just one category. You can do classics romance. You can do classics holiday movies. There's so many subcategories within that category. Why not take advantage? Sorry on my Alex rant. But
all right. I'm gonna step out. I have to go head over to the other show, but Alex is gonna take over chat questions because she is a doll and amazing. So I'll see you guys later. I'll see you on the video stream in a little bit.
Bye.
Love you, boo.
All right.
She was just messaging. We're only going to do just a handful more questions, and then we're just going to be wrapping things up over here. So if you guys have any questions, please just let us know in a Streamlab or, I don't know, on here, anywhere, all that good stuff. But also, I'm kind of curious what movies you guys in the chat, what are like some random movies you watch backwards and forwards? Like, you've seen it a bazillion times, and anyone can whip out any random piece of trivia about it, and you'd be like, does this person or this thing or whatever it may be. I can tell you, I know every single thing about one of my favorite 90s movies of all time. Directed by Ang Lee, it is Sense and Sensibility.
Really?
Man, I fucking love that movie. I love me Jane Austen. I love me some romance. I love me some period romance. Just that one just hits me in my heart, pulls the heartstrings for me. But yeah, so some people, Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
Do you remember that movie? Yeah.
Huh?
Do you like the
that
franchise?
Movie.
Do you know the franchise
Absolutely.
very well?
All three. I love those
Quack,
movies.
quack,
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 quack, quack, quack. Oh, psychotic.
yeah.
It's so good.
So good. And then Charlie spazzing when it was Team USA, and he's like, "No, we're the Ducks." And then at the end, they put on the white jerseys. Oh my God, gets me pumped every time in D2. I
It's so
love D2
good.
so much. I love the first one, and I absolutely love the first one. But D2, I don't know why. When I was a kid, when they're rollerblading and Kenan Thompson's there, and they teaches them the knuckle puck,
Yeah.
and they're playing Whoop. There it is. And the Bash Brothers, everything about D2, I felt like just amped it up a bit. So I love, and it's funny because every time that I go back and rewatch them, the first one is hands down the best made one. But I get so amped up with part two every time. I actually when Disney Plus came out, I was like, hell yeah. Then they didn't have it. I remember when it first came out, they did not have it, but Netflix had it, so I was like, yes. And yeah, exactly. But love the Mighty Ducks.
It also I'm sure, I don't know how drastic an age difference we are, but I'm a 90s kid personally, obviously, with Sensibility being one of my favorite movies of all time. But it just like, I remember seeing it for the first time, I think I was like 7, 8 or whatever. So it just hit me at the right time. And, I loved, a lot of sports movie. Ziggy Gallo again, he was The Sandlot, another movie that I knew backwards and forwards.
I know that movie backwards and forward. I showed that movie to my kids about 3 months ago for the first time. My son just turned 9 and my daughter is 6. And they were like, "Oh, we're bored, this and that." And I'm like, "Sit your butts down. You're going to learn about the sound. You're going to learn today." And at first they were like, no. They didn't, they weren't caring for it. And it was probably like 10 minutes into the movie where they were like, yes. And now they love the Beast. So they're like, let's watch the movie. Yeah, they're like, let's watch the movie with the Beast. Let's watch the baseball movie. And they love it. And I showed them for the first time this week. I showed them Space Jam. So they got to see Space Jam this week. First time.
Did you see the little I don't know, it's not necessarily a teaser, but they showed the uniform.
With LeBron in the uniform. So let me tell you, I am obviously I was in Miami. I'm a LeBron fan.
Of course.
He gave us great years here. I was a LeBron fan before that. I didn't hate him before. I always gave him the credit, but I was like, whatever. But when he joined Miami, obviously I had no choice. I had to like the guy.
Of course.
But so he gave us wonderful years. When he decided to leave, everybody in Miami were burning jerseys, and I wasn't. I was like, dude, he went home. Like, he gave us the chips. He's going home. It's fine. So I know a bunch of LeBron haters, Steph being one of them. She hates him. But when I saw the jersey, I'm just such an old school fan, and I thought I was gonna hate it. And when I saw it, at first I was like, and then I don't know why. It was him walking, that little clip. And I was like, I kind of dig it. I'm not in love with it. It's something that I got to get used to. But I felt like it's very modern. It's very loud. And, the times where we're at now, I feel like it fits. I'm always I have a Toon Squad jersey. But
of course you do.
Of course I do,
Of course you do. Yeah. I have to say it. I remember seeing it for the first time, and I didn't like it. However, the more I saw it, I was like, it kind of grew on me. But also, we have not seen it in action. We have not seen the movie yet, so we can't make a huge, accusations or being like, this movie's gonna be trash because look at this uniform. Like, no, that's not the way it works.
Not at all. Not at all.
There's a lot of smack I saw like on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm like, guys, calm down. At the end of the day, it's just a movie. But that's what we're all about as well. Robert Adams is quick to pull out Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank. Nice.
Shawshank.
I like that.
Yes.
Actually, he told me I'm actually gonna try. I'm gonna squeeze him into the show because I need to talk that film. And when I was a guest on Cinefanatics last week, it was fun show to do. I told him, and if there's any movie that you want to talk about, literally the first thing he's like, have you guys talked Shawshank? And I was like, no. He's like, that's gonna be the episode where I do it, please. And I'm like, you're in. I got you.
Love it. Backwards and forwards. Absolutely. Yeah. Some other people are going to be like Rufio, and Bangarang, and obviously that's reference to Hook. Can't deny that. Just
Absolutely.
blowing up hit. Matilda. Oh my gosh, I have not thought about Matilda in ages. Ooh.
My Steph saw it like last week, and she told me it still holds up. I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
It holds up so much.
All I remember is Miss Trunchbull and how much of an asshole she was. She was shocked because she's like, Danny DeVito directed this? I'm like, oh, yeah, he absolutely did.
Yeah.
So,
It's a great. Okay, I used to be obsessed with the book. I loved that book, and I really loved the movie. And I feel like it holds up really, really fantastic. There's parts I remember watching the movie, and I used to cry watching it because I used to be that. Yeah, I used to cry all the time. Like if I used to be that one person. If you so much as looked at me wrong, I would cry in the corner. I was that person. Yeah, because I would be like, I in this movie I was like, I don't understand, why are they mean? Like why? And I'll be like, but she's so sad. She's working so hard. Why are her parents being so mean? Dad, why are they mean? Explain it to me. And I was that kid. So crazy. I was just like, So everyone has those movies, but that movie is fantastic.
That's a good
yes. Sandlot, Princess Bride, oh, fantastic. Hook.
I have never seen The Princess Bride. Yep, I get that. I get that. Oh, look at that. Look at my boy Kaiser. What is he saying?
Jader the Terrible. Your new name in 2021 when you join the dungeon. Oh, okay. I know this is not an official offer over here, but Jader, clearly the Kaiser, the big man over there at the dungeon, clearly thinks that you have some dungeon fight in you. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. I honestly, you know what? He had his shot. Because we were talking prior to that, and he didn't draft me, and we were talking. He didn't do it. He said that I got stolen too early. But no, absolutely, I love everybody in that faction. Me and Kaiser have a great relationship. I have a great relationship with Smets. So wouldn't be opposed. We'll see what other offers get out there. We'll see if he still wants me from here to the draft.
That's true. I'm really excited and scared, honestly, to see how the draft next season is going to work out. Obviously, I don't think like an actual event or anything is going to be the same like how we did this year. But at the same time, I'm very selfish. I want more. I want more events. I want stuff all the time. And I'm just virus, just go away. I don't need this. Please. Schmoedown.
Seriously, I miss live events. It's insane. You know how many more matches? We're getting crazy amount of matches right now. But do you know how many matches we'd be getting? It would be insane because this was supposed to be the biggest season ever. I had before I left, I had 2 matches. One, I had my match with Brittany Young. I had my number for free for all. I had one match lined up that they told me, all right, so you're getting this person, and then I had another match lined up right after the other match. So there was like Christian was already like, come on, let's do this, And then I remember once COVID hit was like a thing already because. While I was in LA that weekend for recording my match, they had already shut down like San Diego. So before I left, I asked Christian, I was like, hey dude, what's going on? He goes, we'll keep you posted. We'll send you emails, this and that and that. He's like, but I think we're good to go. I think we're going to be all right. Sucked so bad. But
it's a really sucky situation we are all in. However, at the end of the day, we have to be safe, obviously.
Absolutely.
And the more proactive and safe we are right now, the sooner these live events, the sooner all this stuff, these reunions are going to happen and studio matches are going to return again. But I swear, with everything, with all these like matches, like every week, every other week, we've had a new live match, like a Schmoedown throwdown situation. That's huge. That's really fantastic. Over the last few weeks alone, have been crazy. But I'm just amazed at the consistency and awesome talent that, Christian and Ellis and Eric, and all these amazing people are to put together these many matches in such a short amount of time. And they're like, you know what? A pandemic's going on right now. fuck it. We're just going to keep going. We're going to power through, and we're going to still make it amazing. You know, we're not going to let that, bring us down.
Absolutely.
So it's a matter of time.
I got in big trouble for saying that I didn't watch The Princess Bride. If you look at the chats, holy shit, yeah. Scroll. I need you to scroll. I'm sorry, guys. It's, you know what? And it's overall. I need to. See, I'm so sorry, guys. They're never gonna invite me on the show again. Oh my god.
Immediately. So I think our big takeaway is the Cinephiles do like The Princess Bride.
Absolutely.
Real quickly, let's go ahead and make this next question. This next question to be our last question this evening before we do wrap it up. Ryan Kramer asks, who do you think is who are you gonna have in a Corruption versus Shazam match whenever that does happen?
Corruption and Shazam. Fuck, man. We were just talking about this. Why do you gotta ask that question? Why do we gotta end it with this question? This is so hard.
I love hurting you in this way. I see that. I've loved watching you make very difficult decisions.
Yeah, no, it's but they're just both playing. Did you see the matches? They were both playing just on all-star levels. The only thing, and even after watching Duralde and the kid play, and then you see him do this. Had I not seen what he did, with Duralde, I would have been like, "Whoa, that Chance is like just on fire." So I'll probably give it a Corruption. But right now, they're so neck and neck. It is one of the. I'm so excited to see this. I am so excited to see that. I can't wait for that. But if you're gonna make me pick one, fuck. Corruption, I guess. Corruption. I'm not even happy about saying it. Maybe Shazam. I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't ask me.
What is it? Why all these no cards? No.
Yeah. No. No. I'm gonna tweet you the picture of what I have because I can't find it here.
I'm excited. Please.
I will. Yeah, I will tweet you the picture.
Yeah. But I would have to say, personally, after watching the matches, I feel like both teams are so great together, obviously, but Corruption, their teamwork and strategy was so evident in that match in particular. Like, it was clear it was Shazam. They've been working together, actively working on it ever, obviously, but Corruption, like during the speed round, I was like, like even like the whole I concur shit, it was like there was like code words and stuff being used, and I'm like,
it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I promise you.
So they've definitely changed something for the better, though, and I think they would win, honestly, especially after checking out that speed round.
You know what? I'm really loving these speed rounds. I really, really, really do love these. I mean, I like them when it's single because you get all the questions asked, and then they'll come back to it. But I feel like it's a lot more relaxed because I practice the speed rounds here at the house. I get that far where I'll get me and my boy, and I'll have Steph ask the questions, and I even have a beater to see how fast I can do it. So when she's asking me questions,
or you can like, well, you could pull like a Brendan Meyer and be like,
no. Have you seen him though? Like in every match, it's crazy. It's crazy. He's like, oh my god. I'm like, I forgot. There was a comment that killed me when I was watching that match where they're like, get him a Valium or something. They said something like, I forgot what it was. I was like, holy shit. But yeah.
Well, we asked him during a chill episode. He came on Chill to Action, and it was like the question was like a this or that kind of question. So it's kind of similar to this. And so Paul asked him, this or that, the button, or sex. And suddenly he was like, oh no. It was so funny. It was so funny.
Oh, great.
It was like, great. Oh god.
Good stuff.
But It was really fantastic. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. Jader, you're a rock star. We can't wait to see more of you in the tournament, obviously. Going against the winner between Tim/Tom, whoever that may be. I'm excited to see that happen. And, at the end of the day, I think we can just say it here. Your passion for the game, your excitement and everything, it's just going to be fantastic. Can't wait to see more of you in general.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure to chill with you guys or call with you guys, whatever we're doing right now, calling or chilling. But yeah, I honestly, whenever you guys are you don't have anybody, just give me a call.
That's for sure. We definitely will. And we need to have a Droogs match, a Schmoebait match. Do you like debating?
Depends on the film, to be honest with you. But yeah,
Schmoebaits is my Schmoedown themed debate show, and so they debate. So I have competitors. I've had like Rachel, I've had Christian as my co-host, I've had Ben, Bibbs, a bunch of people come on where they debate Schmoedown themed matches. So like for example, one was like the greatest, biggest upset in Schmoedown history.
Okay.
That was the question. Okay. Another one was like, what was the best belt match in Schmoedown history? Another one would be like, who is the what first round IG what was that? Like a comeback? It was just like, so yeah, like biggest comeback match, things like that. So it could be like specific to like a certain competitor. But I'm gonna be having a Den themed match coming up. I did Finstock coming up, and I'm gonna be having Corruption here next week.
Whoa,
so that's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be fun.
It's so much fun.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm always down. If the schedule allows it, I jump on.
Yes.
So you just give me ahead of time, and we'll do it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Wear a mask and go get watching some movies. Check us out here. This is Call to Action. You can find me, Alex Mack, part of the Call to Action crew. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook. You can find us in audio forms everywhere, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, etc., or everywhere podcasts are found. But please give us a like, follow, and subscribe. If you're not familiar with us, and ring that itty bitty bell, that'd be much appreciated. But guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and have a great day.
Thank you. Later.
Bye.